Hello, it's me, DjDoubleT, here with our usual Tuesday thing of held myself accountable for some self-care because I need it. And well, I'm running a little late on my personal schedule, but I don't remember what time exactly I'm supposed to be on today, or even if I remember it, I don't. And try my best to be on it, but usually the 11 p.m. time on my time is what works for me. And I'm a little late because I'm still nomming on food currently. But for today's agenda, we're doing our usual, I got that book to read, but I also need to go into my journal and write some stuff. Gotta tackle the food. Food comes first. Food always comes first. Also, some water. Always an excellent thing to have. And then, throughout this whole time, if people come by or not, I will do tarot cards. And also, disclaimer, I should always put this ahead of time. I am not a professional psychic or anything like that. It's mainly just for fun. Ask me a simple question. I'll ask you questions about things in turn, just so I can get like a good idea, and we can figure out if we're gonna do a 1 card or a 3 card reading, depending on the scenario. Anywho's, I think that's it. Oh yeah, and we'll throw in the face mask as usual. But that's it. I think that's it. And I keep saying that's it, but then is it really it? Who knows? But yeah, I'll just be here, existing. Oh, and yeah, I guess I should also mention we have our lovely lo-fi, non-copyrighted stuff because, you know, I have not been making my own music lately, or in general have. And I kind of want to get back into that. At some point, that's when I'm more financially stable. Because I feel like there's a lot of things in my life currently that require me to have some funding. And so I'm just like holding on by saying like, I don't think I am ready for it. Maybe I'll wait for it to be on sale. We'll figure it out. And if anybody wonders what I'm eating, I am currently consuming instant ramen because I get instant ramen cravings like crazy sometimes. And it's a problem because it's not good for me, but it's something I grew up on. And like it's just like once you grow up on something, you end up missing it. And this is one of those things. But today was kind of interesting because while I was cooking my eggs and stuff to add like to the noodles, it was kind of funny because one of the eggs had like a double yolk, and so there's like an interlocking yolk. Because you know how like eggs usually have like the one circular yolk, but this one had like two, but they're like interlocked. It's one of those cool ones, you know. But then there's also like the really rare chance of having like a 3 yolk kind of egg. I wonder if there's a 4, but like that's just like continuous spreading of yolk. I've already tackled Duolingo for today because Duolingo was like, "Hey, you forgot about me. Hey, you're gonna lose your streak." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But what irritates me is that on some days I'll do the streak and then it doesn't, what's the word? It doesn't count it, and it's like, "Oh yeah, you missed the streak." That's a lie. I did my thing on that day. It's like, "Oh, you did too early, so the new day hadn't started." It's like, well, I see how it is. It just doesn't like me. I don't know which book am I supposed to read today anyways. I should have done this all ahead of time, but I didn't. And that's my fault because I didn't. Oh, that. Okay. After the food is done, and after I've stopped talking at a certain point, we're gonna go back to this book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. Because I stopped partway through chapter 4, and I would like to finish chapter 4, which is The Value of Suffering. And I think I stopped on page 69. or 68. You know what? Of course I would have stopped there. Of course. The utter immaturity. Doo-doo. Oodles. I also don't need this much light. I never do. Ah, much better. I'm genuinely curious about how much I will get done in this stream. Because I know myself, I will take a while if I get distracted. And it feels like I am distracted. Don't know what. But I just feel like I'm gonna sidetrack somehow. And that seems like it happens in video games, or just in general with me. Like my fixation of things, like, okay, we're eating. But then I'll start talking. So then I'll be like more fixated on speaking, so that then I can't shove food in my face. But then if I'm not talking, then I can do it. I also feel like this week I discovered another food channel, but more like teaching me how to make food of my own people and culture, because my family doesn't tend to make food a lot of like what is, I guess you could say, fancier cuisine. Like sometimes we'll do it, but we've never made like pho ourselves. We've always gone out to eat it. And I feel like it's also just one of those things where it's like it's a specialty kind of thing, so you go outside to get it. It's not meant to be like an everyday thing. Although some people do that. But it's just like a lot of hard work to even make the soup itself, because you have to have your aromatics, you have to have like some beef bones or chicken bones. You need to like let it sit for a long time in order to get like all the flavors in. And you kind of have to watch it, and you don't make a small batch. Like it isn't not necessarily like normal or something like that, but it's like it's for a family or like a huge group, and so that's why you're gonna have like lots of leftovers. It's like having Thanksgiving turkey. No one's gonna eat the whole turkey by themselves, and if you do, kudos to you. But I don't know, like when it comes to Thanksgiving turkey. Oh, now we're sidetracking even in the conversation, but when it comes to like a Thanksgiving turkey, that thing lasts for leftovers of leftovers. Like, you can't finish eating that bit of meat. Alright, we say we make a sandwich. Alright, you're gonna have a sandwich for 2 weeks. Oh, don't feel like having a sandwich? We'll put that in a soup with noodles. Oh, you don't feel like having like, it's there and persistent. I guess you could also just freeze the food and have it later over time. I think that was me with like honey baked hams. Like, I like honey baked hams, but if it's just a plain ham, I don't like it because it's salty. Like, I need that sweet and salty mixture. Kind of like, oh yeah, the saltiness is doing it for me, but then the sweetness balances it out. And I think that's also why when people eat like food in general or junk food, like, you're gonna get tired of that sweet, so then you crave something salty. Like, it's a perpetual cycle. So I guess that would be a good idea to have like food places that are sweet and salty like next to each other. So like, oh yeah, you want ice cream? Okay. You're feeling tired of ice cream? Then let's go for maybe some salted pretzel. Or some people do like a good mixture of both. But then some people are like upset because neither one or the other, so it doesn't meet their standards to like one side. I guess like I think of some people where like they like flavors separate, and then like some people just don't like having mixtures of flavors. It has to be one thing. Yeah, I don't know. Depends on the day. Throw me anything. Like, I would like. I think I like a variety of flavor because I know like myself when it comes to like food and stuffs, I tend to not necessarily get sick of it, but like if I'm eating the same dish with the same flavor, for if it lasts too long, like the wow factor and like my body just says that's enough of that one thing, we're good. How did we get onto this? You know what? It's fine. I don't know, but we're on it. I also probably made myself too much. I might have to save it for leftovers. Oh, and if I like have time and I feel inspired, I feel like doing some artsy stuff. I'm not sure what artsy stuff, but I'm gonna do some artsy stuff. Be sure. I just had a random thought. So I was like thinking, I am, I'm, I guess consistently happiest when I can eat. And then I was thinking, food can't judge me. And then I was like, oh yes, it can. Like if you made that food and it's horrible, that's the food judging you, or you're judging your own cooking skills. Well, it's like, oh, this is bland. I cook so bland. Alright, I'm gonna walk right back. Just gonna put this away because that's enough of that. And I'm gonna do my task. No, journaling comes first. Excuse me. And now I got the hiccups. Yeah, I should probably at that time just move to 10. Because I don't know if I can meet a 10 p.m. deadline if I get off at like, I mean, 9 p.m. deadline if I get off at like 9. See, like, I would love to have a consistent schedule, but I have to like just ballpark it because work and time. Hi, Lumi. How are you? Currently just journaling. Are you asking if I'm busy so that what is it? Are you asking if I'm busy because you want me to do a tarot reading? Am I right or am I wrong? Oh. Alrighty. I mean, I don't mind interrupting my journaling. Because either way, I'm still gonna get it done. Hi, Cocaine Pickle. How's it going? I also would never call myself a daddy. Anyways. Now, what's the next thing on the agenda? Oh. Like, is it bad work? Like, just mentally draining work? Or just ready to be done with the day? Okay. So one of those days where it's like there's just everything's done or there's basically nothing happening. You know what? That makes sense. You know, if it was busy, you wouldn't be here. Or, you know, you could be hiding in the bathroom, totally avoiding work. Because some people do that as well. Oh. I would never personally hide in the bathroom. I don't know. When it comes to work, it's either I'll just be there and I'll just zone out and just do the task. Or if it's too busy, frantically try to do everything and get annoyed with people. Cause like if I'm in like the middle of a task and someone asks me for like help and I have to like put everything back to make sure it's safe, yeah, I can definitely do that. Let's see. What would you like to know? And also, let's see. And it's nothing scary. It depends on what you would like to know. Do you have like a specific question? I can do like a 1 card read, or I can do a 3 card read, which is what we'll do. 3 card is mainly for like simple past, present, future, or people do mind, body, and spirit. Okay. Do you want to know like your general like how your day is gonna go potentially, or something in the future? Okay. Let's see. Let me remind myself how many cards are in a deck. I believe it's 76. Because it's a little bit different when it comes to like, you know, remote tarot card stuff. But like, how many? Oh, no. 78. Okay, 78. So if you want to know like your like how the day is gonna go, well, or that'll be the question. Pick a number between 1 through 78, whatever number you feel like calls to you, and that is the card we'll pick. 7. All right. Just give me a quick thing of like shuffling around, because each day is different. Each shuffle means that there's something new, a different event. 1, 2, and I read the card based on my orientation, but not like that it matters or that you can see in front of me that what the cards are like. All right, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. All right, how do I feel like flipping today? Some days I like to flip it upside down again, or I just flip it over. But today we'll just flip it from the side. All right. Keep in mind that these tarot cards are just mainly for funsies. It's not. It's. I forgot what the effect is called. But if you take it seriously, it's going to happen. One of those things. Alright, so the card that we have drawn for you today is the Princess of Cups. And it is reversed. Reversed does not mean bad or anything. It just means usually like the opposite of what the card means itself. Normally the card has a specific meaning, which is, let's see, you're a Princess of Cups. So normally it means flow, synchronicity. Oh, thank you for following, by the way. And mystic messages. A reverse to mean something else. Let me see what else does it say. Okay. But reverse the card means low tides, immaturity, emotional instability. From what I've gathered from your day so far, it's not going so well, right? Because it's like there's nothing really happening, and it's gonna be like, how many hours? How long is work left? I guess. Like how many more hours? Like how long? Are you? Okay, 5 more hours. Okay. Well, since you still have a lot of time left, it's mentioned like a little bit of like more of like emotional drainage, mental, because like if you're doing nothing for a while, it's like you want it done and you just slowly get yourself drained. And really, it's talking about just making sure that at the end of the day, take care of yourself. Like listen to your own personal needs and just take care of that, and things will be better. And I feel like that's just anything in general, but you know, after a long day of work, do whatever helps you get relaxed, you know? You'll get through it. It's not like it's saying your day is going to end in demise or anything like that, but it's just make sure you listen to yourself. Whether it is like your inner child saying like you want to go jump in a ballpark or something, or sorry, ball pit, not ballpark. Wrong thing. Jumping into a ballpark would mean throwing yourself into a baseball court. Anyways, wrong words, but that. Of course. I'll always be existent and around. And if you want another reading, let me know. I don't mind. I'll just be... What was I doing? If you want to continue chatting or if you want me to do anything else, I'll just... Or if you don't want me to do anything else, I'll just be reading. Because I have my... Excuse me, personal goal on stream to finish the rest of one more chapter about this book. Because that is part of my self-care. When it comes to like tarot card reading, I think I'm just a person who enjoys cards. Like I think when I grew up, well, as I was growing up, I just like really liked the idea of throwing cards, whether it was playing cards, but also like playing cards. And I guess when it came to tarot cards, it was more of I liked horoscopes and all that and mystical stuff every now and then. And I'm not a professional reader or anything like that. I just do it for the fun of it. I just sit down and I'm like, I like this. Let's do it. And some people take it like as truth, as what it is. I do it more of for fun and like to help my friends out, or you know, just give some insight that some people need and some people don't. And I've and some other things is like, if you're gonna find a deck that speaks to you, you know? Like, if you're gonna represent yourself, you don't want something that you don't like to pour yourself into. And it's like, it's, how do I describe it? For some, it's like the energy. You bring the good vibes, or you bring the vibes, they'll be good to you. And yeah, I guess that's my explanation. I feel like there's a better way and more concise way for me to explain it, but I'm at one of those points at the moment where it's like everything all at once. All right, Lumi, I'll see you in a bit. But I like my deck because one, it has like the holographic bits a bit. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can light will help. Light, where like it has like a little bit of rainbowish tint to it, which I enjoy. And like this is more of like a modern deck because like old-fashioned tarot cards are cool, but they're too medieval for me. And so for some that totally works. For others, they prefer like a more astral, more like stars and all that. I just really enjoy like the abstract art and like simple shapes. Works for me. And the rest is mainly like doing it and practicing. I can't memorize all the cards because I don't do it often enough, but 78 cards is just like one really difficult thing to remember. And then there's like different types of like spreads some people do. Some people do like a single card. Some people do 3 for like the simple basics of like past, present, and future. But other people also do it for mind, body, and spirit, like how you're working in your own like inner systems. Some people do like relationships readings where it's like you and another person. Then there's like a thing for like a card spread for many different things. It's really widespread. But I feel like the in short answer of like how did I get into reading? I just did. I somehow ended up here. And if that is it, I will go back to reading a book. So, TBD 100. So a tarot card reading is a deck of cards, right? And some people consider it more like psychic, and some people consider it magical. And it's mainly like a deck of cards that each card has like its own meaning, and it depends on like how it's oriented, right? So like some cards will have positive meanings, while reverse can be like the opposite meaning of that card. And like when you do a reading, it's mainly to ask a question and have the cards answer it. There's one person who interprets like the meaning of the card and responds to the question, while one person is asking for a reading. If that is the that's an easy way to explain it. It's kind of like, a magic 8 ball, but fancier. Or, like like an Akinator thing of like, you ask it a question, you have something you want answered, and what it does, it helps you answer a question, or it just helps you think. Some people just use it to gain insight of things they didn't really realize or don't normally think about. At least that's what I use it for. Some people use it for like their day-to-day lives, which I don't advise, but you know, some people need that for how they live life. But if you'd like a reading, feel free to ask, and I wouldn't mind. Yeah, no worries. Well, Kavu, it's not Tuesday for you. I mean, it should be Wednesday for you, and like, it's almost Wednesday for me soon. So you could technically say it was Tuesday. I mean, my plan is to like stream this to be on Tuesday, but work has me pushing it to otherwise from Tuesday to the next day. It can't have been Wednesday for 3 hours. That's not true. All apparent lies. Well, it isn't 3 hours officially until 5 more minutes. No. No, French. I don't want to think about it. Wait, Kabu, why are you still up? And maybe I shouldn't be asking that, knowing how I sleep, but why are you still up, though? Sorry, whenever I see the word simping, I'm just, the first initial thought is just to go simp, and then anyways, enough of that. Yeah, well, it's too late. I'm already myself. I am DJ, and I will stay up way later than you will, without the sleep. And I think I'm probably gonna do that tonight because I want to like play games with like Lumi and Zesty in a bit. Cause adventuring. And if you're still up, Kaboom, you as well. Also, that is a mood. That is definitely a mood. I never expected myself to be in this situation. I didn't ask for it, but here I am. Cause it's like one of those days of how did I get here? And then just like side panel office thing or the Emperor's New Groove, just have like a sidestep conversation of like you're probably wondering how I got here and blah blah blah. I didn't ask for it, but I got here. I like how the book asks, like, how do I stop suffering? And, okay, oh, sorry. The question we should not be asking is, how do I stop suffering? But why am I suffering? For what purpose? Because people suffer for a reason, apparently. And, like, without some degree of strife, life doesn't have meaning in a sense. It just sucks because like challenges are hecking annoying, but we're supposed to be meant to overcome them some way or somehow. But at that point in time, it sucks, and then you know if you're able to get through it, it becomes a good story. And I guess I can quote AJR of like, 100 bad days means it's 100 good stories. Because at the end of the day, if you're able to overcome your personal strife, right? You're able to tell it as a story later on, hopefully. And maybe you'll laugh about it, maybe you won't. Maybe it'll be like a good party starter, an icebreaker. But, yeah. Oh no. No. I don't want to think about self-awareness as an onion. I feel like it's getting to like the quoting of like it's good to be self-aware. Just too much self-awareness is bad for you. It's kind of hard with like life if you think about like everything that you're supposed to moderate and you're supposed to keep in balance, right? Like too much of anything is really bad. Too little of anything is also really bad. And so like finding your own perfect balance or your own like mins and maxes where you can balance things out and you're able to function that are good for you, it's tough. Okay, we're gonna put these cards back because I need room on my table. To right. Yeah, that too. I think for me, like accepting for me when I accept that it's just like never gonna be perfect all the time, I feel like I accidentally trudge into the pessimistic territory, and then that's like the bad factor. Like don't accept it healthily, I guess. There are no rules until you say, "Hey, where was I going? Where was I going with that?" There are no rules unless there are rules in place that will obstruct your no rules. Fair. Or like there are no rules as long as it doesn't affect other people. Cause like you can do whatever you want in your house, but if you're gonna blow up your house, um, that's probably gonna affect other people because one, that's gonna be way too much noise, and two, you don't know what shrapnel the house can blow up around. But that's the offshore random point, I guess. But yeah, the book was talking about like self-awareness like an onion because like it's good to be self-aware, but the deeper you dive into like your own self, the closer you are to reaching unnecessary levels, but also the more layers you peel on an onion, the more likely you are to tear up and cry. However, I feel like it's a story for another day of where like when I'm able to actually talk to you, I'll probably like ask what? When? What caused this? But also small world things and whatnots. Okay, so layer one of the self-awareness onion is understanding your emotions. Easy enough. Oh. Well, luckily, wrong time was. Alright, you were in the right place at the right time and not the wrong place at the right time. I will agree with the book for this one thing of like, even though it's like the most basic layer, like I feel like I can understand my own emotions to a degree, but when there's like certain things and factors, that's when I'm like, I don't understand this emotion. And like the author's talking about how like they're one of those people who kind of suck at that thing too, because like their partner will be like, "What's wrong?" "Oh, nothing's wrong. I'm totally fine." And then like the partner pries a little bit, and it's like, "Seriously, I'm fine." Pries again, and then it's like, "Yeah, I'm totally fine." And time skip, illusion. It's like, and that's why I'm so mad. The old good old saying of like, when you say you're fine, but you're really not. Okay, I'm gonna probably write a note of like working on emotional blind spots. I feel like everybody has the capacity to understand certain emotions and like their spectrum of feelings, but there are certain things that are a bit more difficult to not necessarily like analyze, but just to know what is happening. I should also say a disclaimer, I'm not writing in the book, I'm writing on like sticky notes because I don't think I could ever destroy a book like that. Like I've seen people highlight and like cross things out or circle stuff in books, and I'm just like, I can't. No, I won't. Why? Layer 2. Why? 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 Oh, no, gross. No, I don't want to think about that level. That level is just that's for therapy for sure. I'm not avoiding it. It's just so layer so layer 1, like understand you have feelings. Layer 2 is like why. Layer 3, what are your like what are your personal reasons, like personal values about this thing? I feel like how like your personal values affect like these levels. It's a lot harder when it comes to like depending on how you hold the standard to yourself and like how you were raised. Because not saying like people with higher standards like will have it rougher, but like the harder you are on yourself and the goals that you have and you're unable to meet, that's where it like that's gonna hit hard. That would be investing into another thing that I can't afford. But also, technically, I would be copyright stricken to for doing that because I don't own the book and someone else writes it. So I'm like treading the fine line of like I can talk about it, I just can't read it or share it. I did my research. I don't, I don't need to be monetarily defunded or unfunded. It's like it was already enough to buy the book as it is. I don't need to buy the book and then pay fees for copyright. Yeah. No. One gun grave. What about tarot cards would you like? What you asking about? Also, sorry, forgive me for the random accent. But when I read gun, I just thought of Heather Granville and how she was voiced. Sorry. But did you want one? Because I'm just currently reading until somebody wants something. Alright, I'll just put a pen into that. But did you want a reading? I pulled out the cards. Well, what question do you want answered? Do you want me to do like a 1-card reading? Do you want a 3-card reading? 3? Okay. And then, do you have like a question? Do you want a simple past, present, and future? Okay. I mean, this is the point where I would say like, tell me a bit about yourself, because I like knowing details because I'm not psychic. I will not claim that. But it's also just like, it helps me interpret the meaning of the cards itself. But if not, if you don't want to share any of it, that's all fine and dandy. I will do my best. Alright, so a simple past, present, and future kind of read. Alright, your first card will be the present because, you know, let's focus on the now. Pick a number between 1 and 78. 12, okay. Alrighty. And then, this will be, next card will be your past. Because sometimes you gotta look back. Pick a number between 1 through 77. 28, okay. Number 28, alright. And then for final card for the future, pick a number between 1 through 76. Alrighty. All 3 cards have been chosen. Gonna put the deck back in real quick. One Gungrave, where do you want to start with this reading? Do you want to start with your past, your present, or your future? Okay. Your first card. Alright. So I flipped the cards and it's based on my orientation of the reading. Like if you were somebody who was doing a reading with me in real person, you would see the card as reversed. I see it based on what I see, which is forwards, or in the regular. So for your first card is the Eight of Swords. Gotta do like beauty girl style, hopefully. Eight of Swords. So what does that tell me about your past, vaguely? And I say vaguely because that's just how they are. Okay. So, what are the Eight of Swords like normally, and what it is right now? It tends to mean these three words of limitation, confinement, and restriction. What it tells me about your past is that in the past, you might have had like a large struggle of like self-set imprisonment, meaning that you felt very trapped in the past. And I'll leave it there for now, just like that simple general reading, and I'll talk about more about it in a second. But that's it for now, for that one. Where do we go from there? Present or future? Okay. Huh. Okay. That's actually a funny, interesting building. Alright, so you got one of the most dramatic cards that people freak out about, besides death. It's the Tower. Our lovely Tower card, which is... It's not a scary card or anything. It's one of like the major arcana. And like when I say major arcana, there's like, I think 20, 22 like specific cards, and they all like hold like a stronger power basically. 21. Okay, 21. So the Tower, I don't really need to read it, but I still want to read it anyways. The Tower is a card generally for change. But the change is more of like a drastic change. So yeah, the card talks about destruction, abrupt change, and lightning. Don't know why lightning is interpreted in there, but it's there. And I'm either guessing that... So, Eight of Swords talked about like self-imprisonment and like feeling very much trapped. And it also spoke about how it was like a not mentally self-imposed limitation, but something that you were able to overcome if you were willing to recognize that this jail isn't like this jail is of my own doing, and I can walk out of it at any point in time, because whatever I'm holding myself back to is not what is necessary for me, and you can overcome it because this is your own like limitation of what's holding you back. And I'm guessing that the Tower itself speaks about currently in the present. You've already realized that, and that's why. But in realizing that, that has like shattered a lot of what has happened in the past, and there's currently a lot of change happening. Welcome back, Lumi. And then I don't need to ask about what next card should be for if you want to go to the future, because we're gonna get into the future. So what does the future tell me? All right. So the future is the Princess of Swords reversed. Her little art of a curvy sword that's shining light. I don't know why. It just does. Alright, Princess of Swords. Where's my swords in this book? This booklet that can tell me things, because... Okay. So, in the last bit, the Princess of Swords normally upright means inquisitive, verbose, and lively. So someone that is, or a card that's basically very much like free in speech and talking. But the reverse means contrarian, annoyance, and moaner mouth. And it kind of like talks about thinking too much and not really saying. And the importance of like communication and like being vocal of like your own thoughts and your own like opinions. And it's okay to like not talk sometimes, but if someone's trying to stop you from telling your own story, your own truth, do what you think is right. Like, yeah, that's for sure, Kavu. And whatever is going to happen in the future pertains more of learning how to figure out a balance of how to voice yourself. And so, overall, it's kind of like a pretty cool spread of a past, present, and future where you have held yourself back a lot, and it's kind of like based on your own like limitations, what you think should have been, but currently you've noticed that it's not something that works out for you, and like it hits you like just like that, and that is currently changing. And then in the future, it's mainly just like upholding what you want to do and say. And yeah, I hope that's helpful, and if that was interesting enough. And well, feel free to follow for the reading. I know I say that that's the title, like, you know, a tarot card reading for a follow, but it's really up to you. And if you have any other questions or any clarifications I can do, feel free to ask. Because I know a lot of it's vague, and that's the thing. I think it's always better to keep things vague when I don't know much about the other person. Because I'm not saying how to live your life or how that will affect you. But it's like, you'll find your own meaning and what to do with it. No, I get it. I mean, I could read the last card for you and see how you interpret it. Like the full description of the Princess of Swords reversed, and maybe you could find a better like understanding of how an interpretation than I would, because it's like I'm doing the best I can, you know, and how I interpret things might not be the way you see it. But the card itself, it says challenging authority with a know-it-all attitude can get old pretty quick. You're bored and in need of mental stimulation to keep up with your rapid-fire thoughts. All talk and no action leads to a distrust between you and your peers. Making promises you cannot keep does not bode well for your reputation, nor aligns with your intentions. Communication is a two-way street. Become aware of how you speak to others, as it may rub them in the wrong way, and you can come off as annoying instead of intelligent. Excitement spurs you. However, your energy is scattered when you try to do it all at once. Fear of people judging you can stop you from spreading your thoughts and ideas. Don't let the haters get you down. The world wants to hear what you have to say. And honestly, sometimes the cards itself, whatever definition they give, doesn't pertain to what somebody asks sometimes. And that's why it's so hard to do these at points. Cause I'm like, how does that relate to your future? Well, I can pick bits and pieces, but it may not work. But yeah, if you have a different interpretation, feel free to tell me how you see it. I need. But I also will take 2 out of 3. I'm doing my best. Because if I could honestly, accurately read everybody, that'd be wild. But I get it. I think that is what the card said, but I only took the last part because I was like, okay, how do I say this concisely? It's like the classic way of it's not what you say, but how you say it. And so I guess the card was accurate itself. My interpretation, not so much. But that is human error. And that's my fault. And as long as you're able to figure out a way of talking that works for you, that you find is a good balance with other people, that's good. But if it ever gets to a level of where you're sacrificing too much of how you talk for other people, I guess what I'm saying is, what am I saying? I don't know if Kabu's here. I feel like Kabu could explain this better than I can at the moment because I am brain kerfluffling. There will always be people who will understand what you mean. And there will always be people who will question what you mean. And only you yourself can say what works for you. Yeah, I think in my life I've done the opposite for a while. I'll tell them what they want to hear, And then I switched it up and did what they needed to hear. And like, it really depends on the situation. And that's something that comes with a lot of practice. Oh, and I'm also like, if I get too like preachy and like teachery, or like if you don't want to hear any more advice or like what I'm talking about, feel free to let me know. I get this way sometimes. But like each scenario has their own response. You can't have the perfect response for each scenario though. One day you'll mess up and that'll be like a learning experience. And each person will be different. And sometimes the best thing is just ask the person, like, what do you want to hear? Do you want to hear the brutal truth? Do you want to hear an honest opinion? Do you want comfort? Because I know my friend Chaos, who I stream with like on Thursdays, when like back in the day, I mean it's not back in the day, but like when we lived in the dorms, like across the hall from each other, I would visit a lot, and sometimes the way she would do things, if I ever like was in like a trying time, would be like, do you want someone to listen? Do you want my honest opinion? Do you want like a friend? Like, there's the friend, there's like the professional way, and what was it? Or just someone to be there. And not so caught got what? There's a Mountain Dew pitch black. Excuse me. But also, like, Mountain Dew is not healthy for you because, actually, I don't even know the gender. I don't know your gender, but all I knew was that way back in the day, it lowers sperm count. Random fact, apparently. Anyways, you didn't hear that from me. It's not on stream. It is. Never mind. I don't know why, but I really feel like I'm like the old man right now. Young whippersnapper, you don't understand. Okay, that was a horrible accent. Let me get a little older. Okay. When you said it released in 2004, I immediately thought, you've had that drink since 2004. You haven't drank it since it has aged like what? Uh, uh. Oh. Okay. Spicy Angelo? Oh. Maybe you should have drank that then. I don't think Mountain Dew expires, per se. Well, it probably does expire at some point. But I don't think that's good to have in your system. I'm genuinely just confusioned. Excuse me. Now, kids, what have we learned? Don't drink things that are expired. Don't do a me. This reminds me of the story of the sink noodles. I'll tell that story another day. Someone remind me on Thursday. Whenever I do the Sunhaven slash whenever I shoot with Chaos, someone remind me about sink noodles. I'll tell the story then and there. Or Chaos will tell the story. But not so Kaga, why did you have a 19-year-old soda? Like, genuine question. Where was the soda? Why did you drink it? How? How did you like not realize there's a soda? Ooh, well, it looked good, but t- I have so many questions, and none of it can answer it for me right now. Where did you get this? It's my first one. The expiration date was 2004, wasn't it? Hi, I'm Jared. I'm 19 and I never learned how to effing read. Sorry. Maybe the blackness of it just like covered the lettering, you know, of an expiration. I'm just genuinely concerned. Now, if it gets really, really bad, please go to urgent care or see a doctor. Oh. Sue the vending machine. If it's like past the expiration date for so much, and how is that vending machine not used for that long? Cause like I feel like with vending machines they should be able to replace the the item, you know? Like they go in, they put stuff in. When you say old vending machine, did you find it in like the dumpsters? Like, uh, I'm just concerned, genuine concerned. Yeah, I definitely think that like, oh, maybe you should have drank it and just like saved it and then sold it to like a market of people who want something that is like old, and also that probably would have saved your health. This just sounds like an adventure. Huh. So you drank 2K, but it's gonna cause you 2Ks of pain. You're always gonna be worth something. And drinking 2K of expired. Sorry, drinking old soda does not change your worth. As long as you are able to see that your own worth and value yourself, that's all that should matter, rather than what is quantified based upon monetary value. But then again, I'm struggling with that as well sometimes. Self-worth is, it's hard. Maybe you should drink more water. I'm not saying like right now, but in general, drink more water. Water can't steer you wrong unless it's contaminated and not cleansed. You know what? Just drink water, but make sure it's clean water. Maybe I should clarify that. Well, I just mean just have a good balance, you know? You know, for the longest time, I wasn't allowed to drink a lot of different sodas because of caffeine. And like how I grew up, I had like a tiger parent who very much not like how do I say? They very much controlled like what I drank. They were like no Coke, so like I could have sips of it, but they had this whole theory of like Coca-Cola or like anything with caffeine will make you short. I'm still short, but yay. Have you tried any of like the flavored Coca-Cola things, like Coca-Cola Dream, something Coca-Cola Space? Because some of them are interesting. I think one tastes like bubble gum, and then the other one tasted more like pina colada or like coconutty, which threw me off. Even the not Buffalo Wild Wings, but like Buffalo Wings soda, ranch soda. Have you tried those? And bacon flavored soda? I haven't tried them myself, but I know those exist. Well, not so cargo. What's your favorite soda? Hmm. I just drink them every now and then. I'm not like an avid Coke person. I think I grew up more in like lemon lime soda, so like Sprite, 7 Up. I don't know how I feel about like Sprite's legacy flavor, which is basically strawberry lemonade and Sprite. I'd rather just get strawberry lemonade and pour Sprite into it. Huh. I don't tend to keep up with the Mountain Dew flavors. Just because, like, I don't know. I grew up on, like, Squirt as well. And, like, Squirt was grapefruit soda. Maybe that's why it was always, like, had a funny taste to it. And I like that. But when it comes to what I drink nowadays, I definitely drink water, nut milk, or almond milk, basically. And whenever I get a chocolate craving, I get like chocolate almond milk nowadays, which hits just right. And I guess apple juice. Like, I like juice. Juice is good. Or make a smoothie, one of those. Hmm. What was Supernova like? Also One Gun Grave? I don't know. I just caffeine and I don't mix, so I don't drink coffee. Like coffee has never enticed me. I'm just like I don't want to be an adult who is like dependent on caffeine to go throughout their existence of the day, you know? Huh. Interesting. I remember one time I tried like this Lebanese yogurt drink. I forgot what happened, but like my family brought it home, and like it was mint flavored yogurt, and it was just wasn't good. Like it was minty and sour. Like I'm fine with drinking yogurt, but I think like natural, like fresh yogurt sometimes isn't for me, or at least it was really an acquired taste. I was only able to drink half of that thing until like uh until my body said no, we are not having any more of this. Hmm. Are we talking about like, to clarify, are we talking about yogurt as in like more of, I guess, Greek and Middle Eastern dishes? Or are we talking about like, more American, like yogurt, like frozen yogurt, or like Yoplait and all that sweet, really sweet yogurt? Because I have me a sweet tooth. Sometimes I like the sour yogurt, but not always. Like it has to be like under the right pretenses. Hmm. Whenever I hear Activia, I can't help but think about, what was it? Ah, Rick, I should know her. I should know her. Why can't I remember her? I keep saying Deirdre. It's not her name. Oh my god. I have to look this up. I should. We're just gonna do this. There we go. Why could I said Deirdre? Everything everywhere all at once. Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes. I don't know why, but that's the only person I can ever imagine with Activia is Jamie Lee Curtis. Not so good. All I see are like so many different colors and like sounds and flavors of like Mountain Dew. I forget like how crazy Mountain Dew can get with their naming system. I probably should have. Frick. Well, all right. I'm gonna let me just look it up because I know what the flavor is, but I just can't remember. Da ba da da. Let's see. For you not so cog guy, I will tell you the flavor: orange pineapple blast. Oh, has to be Mountain Dew. Okay, never mind. Well, frick. I'll have to look up flavors in Mountain Dew because I don't know. There's so many. And honestly, I don't drink enough of it to know. Mountain Dew flavors archives. Excuse me. Hmm. Mountain Dew Pitch Black has landed. Okay, cool. Huh. They had a Mountain Dew Livewire? What did Livewire taste like? I'm trying to look at the old new ones. Okay. Huh. So we have Mountain Dew, Diet, Caffeine-Free Mountain Dew. That's a lot of names. Mountain Dew Real Sugar, Mountain Dew Baja Blast, Voltage, Major Melon, then Dew Spark, Citrus Strawberry, Summer Freeze. They're apparently exclusives depending on which place you go to. There's Sweet Lightning for KFC. I'm just gonna Wikipedia. Huh. Did you have Mountain Dew Legend? Overdrive? Wait, one Gungrave? Why do you have to stay up for 2 more hours? Purple Thunder? I mean, I could just read the flavor description from what it says right there. I'm just more just reading the names. Yeah. The citrus punch variant with hints of mango, raspberry, and lime flavors. There's so many. Okay, so they have discontinued flavors. Caffeine-free Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew Sport. Ooh, okay. Sounds like a lovely time. Fishing's always fun. Although I kind of suck at Actually, no, I don't suck at it. I kind of get hesitant when I throw out a line with a hook. I almost sucked my grandma one time. Almost used her as bait. Uh, that's because I did some messy hand maneuverings. Alright, that's enough of me looking at these flavors because I need to continue reading. Well, that's like the prime time to go fishing before the sun like rises and bakes you if it's super hot. And you know, the fish get hungry and they want to go nom on things. Also, one gun. Staying up to 5:30. That's something I would do. I wouldn't sleep. Me wake up early? No, never. Not anymore. I mean, I can't pull it off when I'm like really excited about something, but the problem is getting me to sleep. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, no, I get it. I try not to pull up more than multiple days at once because I know my limitations, and I guess I'm getting older. So pulling up 24 hours isn't good for me. So currently, I am switching between two books on these Tuesday streams of self-care. Well, Tuesday now going Wednesday. And the book I'm reading right now is The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And it's a book about basically caring less about what other people think and more towards, focusing on your own like goals and ambitions and not holding not holding yourself back based on what everybody else says. Like analyzing your own standards, but also just like stripping down what you want without the bias or the opinions of everybody else, which is something that I personally struggle with on a not a daily basis, but it's something that I've struggled with throughout my life. Because I find myself heading towards other people's needs a lot more so than my own, and very much like asserting myself, say this is what I need, and whether or not the people in my life are helping me towards that or not, I need to make sure that I know what I want and what I can do, and like what I should be thinking about rather than thinking about everything all at once. Which is also the other book is about stop overthinking. I'll look it up at some point. I'll just write it down and put it on the YouTube search engine. Can't put it in because, copyrighted music will mute the stream itself and whatever I'm saying currently. But maybe that's the better thing. I like how I typed it. I've no, and like the thing says the search bar. I've no more F's to give. Thomas Benjamin Wild Esquire. ESQ. I have no more F's to give clean. I have no more F's to give metal. I have no money and no prospects. I have no roots. I have no regrets. I have no friends. I have no autotune. I have no more SPF. FPS to give clear. I have no other god but you, by Nathaniel Basie. I have no chemistry. I've been changed. I have no enemies. I have no strings to hold me down. Alrighty. We'll leave that there for later. I'll also probably skip the face mask for this week. I feel like every 2 weeks I should do it because that's when my skin gets dry. But like, I don't know. I feel like I should skip a week because my skin feels fine. I don't need some glistening melon glow or something. And I guess part of self-care is also just like knowing what you need and when you don't need it. Hey, I mean, having a simple bit of self-care that works for you is fine. It's like some people need like every little thing. Like they need to be sprawled up somewhere and then, you know, have like the foot spa, need to have like a good old back rub or something like that. Or sorry, just checking a bunch of different things. And like need to have like the cucumber in the eye, the face mask, the like the hair in the bun or whatnot. And like what we do to relax is different for each person. Because what you might find relaxing might drive somebody totally crazy. And maybe some people like to relax by doing tons of work. And I think the reason why I do the stream is mainly to hold myself personally accountable. Just because I know myself. And that if I didn't set a day or time, I probably would neglect it until it got to a bad point. And it's not like I'm saying that I don't do self-care day to day either. But like having a set area to like um to just to do something and to be productive and still like interact with people and whatnot. That's all I need. Not so Kaga, what do you mean? Wait, what? I am genuine confusion. I don't know why, but I just need some clarification. Oh. Oh. Gotcha. All I imagine is Mario Kart racing, but with a shopping cart now. But like, a lower shopping cart. Well, I'm glad you're having fun. I bet. It's going through some trying times to exist. I do not play Xbox. I actually didn't grow up with an Xbox, so I don't have one of my own. Um, I used to play like on my friends a lot when we would play like Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, mainly the zombies part. Sometimes we played the actual like game itself or Minecraft. But yeah, I didn't grow up with one. I grew up mainly more on like PlayStation, then transferred to like um PC. But well, actually, no. PlayStation to Nintendo DS to the Switch, then to more PC, and then now like with a PS5. Sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes. I mean, it's all up to like what you think is better for you for a gamer. You know, some people like having a PC because you can like do all the basics of. Well, actually, now you can do that with consoles nowadays too. Hmm, I guess. But like with a PC, you can always constantly like change out the parts and like switch out things and make it better. Well, consoles, sure they might like rise up in price over time, but I feel like PC itself just has like a lot more versatility. And I'm not saying that PC is better than console. I'm just saying like functionality, I guess. And I won't lie, I still like my consoles. Uh, you would be surprised. I might have a couple people in mind. Again, you'd be surprised. I'm not saying I would, because me, I don't have the money for that. That is for sure. And that's why I have a tip jar at the moment. Because I may not be affiliate, but anything helps sometimes. Alright. Hope you have a good night and you, have a decent sleep. I think you mean the bed, not to the dead. Unless you're sleeping in like a cemetery, then I guess that counts. You'll probably wake up at some point. You know, that's a mood. Sometimes I'll just sleep and then I'm like, I don't feel like getting out of bed. I'll just sleep some more, and then it's like the day's over. It's a habit I need to break out of a little bit. That's also a mood. I did that pretty recently as well. And that's why I think I'm more of a night owl at some days. Because I overslept. Uh, when it comes to fun and entertainment, I do like a simple wide variety of things. Lately, it's been more of just like, sure, watching YouTube, but I tend to watch a lot of anime. I mean, although I stream and like play games, I do play games on my like other side. So like gaming is always nice. Sometimes when I'm like bored of both of those and I feel like doing something else, I tend to kind of just dive into whatever I feel interested in at the point. Sometimes I'll do art, and sometimes, very rarely, I'll read. Or maybe I'll cook something. Cooking is fun to me because well, it's one that's necessary. If you do not know how to cook, um, hopefully you can find someone in your life that can, but making your own food is very gratifying. And other than that, I guess you could say I'll head out. I'll walk around and figure out what I'll do from there. And I guess you could say eating is kind of fun, just because there's so many different cuisines that I like to try. Like, I'm an adventurous food kind of person, so that's why I say food. Is there any fish that you like cooking specifically? Like, when it comes to like fresh fish, like, is there anyone that's better than the others? I think I might have had red snapper once or twice. It was okay. I think for me, for like how I grew up, I really like catfish because of how fatty it is, and how my grandma makes it as well. Hmm. Maybe if I ever get the chance to, I'll have like a raw snapper. Cause poke's really good. Hmm. hearing how food is getting made or reading it makes me hungry. That just shows how much I just like enjoy food. Like, there's always room for a little bit more, or to taste a little bit more. I get it. So what's crabbing like, anyways? I guess I don't know much about it besides grabbing crab, sure. Huh. Okay. Sounds like a fun way. Just like simple game of throw in some bait. Hope they take the bait. If you can get it, catch them, and then after that, do whatever you want and eat them. Or some people just throw them back in and say for another day. So what you're saying is that crabs like chicken. Well, I mean, it's kind of like the idea of once you have your claws sunk in, or do you really think you're letting go? Okay. I feel like these bits are like obvious. What are good values? What are like bad values? Good values. They are pretty much realistic. Well, they say reality based, but I also say realistic. Socially constructive. and immediate and controllable. Values are okay. Well, what's the major issue that you've run into? Hmm. I mean, when it comes to, if you already accept him for who he is, right? And he's chosen to like come out himself, right? One is like acknowledging that you are glad that he's told you, right? And it's up to you whether or not you want to say you already knew. Because some people have the inkling to like that they kind of already just know what they're like, right? And because you've known them for a long time, and I can't exactly tell you what to say and like how to say it, but as long as you are supportive and accepting, which I believe you are, it'll be fine. And so I would like if I were in those shoes, like I would have probably been like, I'm glad that you came out. I mean, I'm glad that you came out in your own time and you told me. But I also knew. That's how I would respond personally. But it's really up to you and how you want to do it. As long as you meet the simple basis of no matter what, you love and care for them and you accept them for who they are. And some kids really do need that validation. But not all kids do either, because some people will be themselves no matter what anybody else says. And I guess when I say it, I say that based on for what happened to me when I came out. And I'm only half out when it comes to family. On one side of the family, the other side I don't talk to that much. And see, that it really depends on the person. Some people are more dramatic and flamboyant, but not all people who come out are like that. So, I mean, all you can say really is, and it also depends on like how your nephew is with like your own comments. Are they more sensitive to what you say, or are they more like they understand what you say, right? And it's really about opening the conversation in a sense. Like you can say what you want to say, right? And if your nephew has any questions, make sure that you're okay. But just make sure that you leave the conversation in like a two-way street. Like you don't want to just throw what you want to say, and if they are confused, at least give them a chance to be like, I need you to like to clarify on this. Huh. Well, I guess that shows how much like your nephew trusts you as like an uncle. Because sometimes coming out to the parents is the hardest thing first. Hmm. Well, I hope your nephew's coming out turns out well. And really, the basic necessities is like coming out is hard because it's like an important time for when one you establish yourself and that you are acknowledged being yourself on your own terms. And it's really about the basics of communication, and no matter who they love as a person, right? That shouldn't change how you see them and how you care and love for somebody. And I find that kind of sad that people still have to go through that issue, me myself included. And I mean, again, you are allowed to say that you knew. Nothing wrong with that. As long as like you're not throwing in like a long explanation of, or basically as long as you're not throwing anything that diminishes the value of their coming out, that should be fine. And that's all that matters. As long as at the end of the day, you guys are still allowed to be people, living your lives with the people you care for, that should be all that matters. And that's always good to have. Like, support really means a lot to whomever, you know, is in your life. Because sometimes people won't accept you for who you are, and I mean, your nephew's really lucky to have you. Alright, you're using the last sticky note of chapter 4. And using like the button of the page just to use it as a bookmark. What is self-improvement? Giving better Fs. Because, I mean, what the book is talking about is like, if you're constantly just giving all your Fs to every little thing, You're not prioritizing which things you should give the Fs for, and what good Fs should be given for. Is that what he would want? A good spa day? Like the full like beauty treatment? Better like it because I'm paying gosh darn good money for this. But I mean, there's also nothing wrong with, you know, whatever your nephew likes, you go for that. But if it's a spa day, it's a spa day. Alright, so then that probably is a good idea. Because I mean, as long as it's within their interest and that they like that, it's a perfectly good gift. It's also a very thoughtful gift. Oh, that was my back cracking. Oh, jeez. Everything's cracking. Anywho's, I believe that is it for today. I've finished reading, I've done the journaling, I've done some tarot card readings. Would have loved to do some more if anybody ever messaged for it, but you know, it is what it is. I've done what I've done for the need to do today. Had some lovely talks, had some good lo-fi, and I enjoyed chatting with you, One Gun Grave. And I would like to say thank you for following also, and thank you again, Cocaine Pickle, and thank you for all of those who came by to talk today. I will be ending the stream, and if anybody sees this on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see this live, feel free to come and follow the Twitch, and I'll be around every so often whenever I'm scheduled. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Those are my set schedule, and if anything changes, I'll let you know. Anyways, DjDoubleT,